Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Night Live. And this evening, our focus is looking at small steps, big outcomes. We are in our fourth week, looking at 31 days of change, to concrete and to practice some of those helpful habits. And our last session would be like next Monday night. But we look forward to reviewing that a bit, and we have some additional content looking at what we stock up on and also what would be great for lowering high blood cholesterol. So let us continue with a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we want to give you thanks for this day, and we thank you for your love, for your mercies towards us, for your provisions. And we ask for your continued grace to be with us now in our discussion. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Right, so I'm Dr. Natalie Nash, and I'm speaking to you from True Health Lifestyle Center. And I have some footage from our last session to show you. I've been talking excitedly about what we were doing, and I hope you enjoy this, what comes up next. So here we go. Hope the volume isn't too loud. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. Um, oh, sorry, you guys didn't hear. Sorry, didn't hear the music. Um, I don't know
Doc-
why.
Dr. Nash,
Yes.
can I purchase a room to stay there forever so I can get that food? Oh my goodness. What about the recipes for all those nice food there? I mean, can we get them, please?
Yeah, check the cook.
Huh?
Yeah, check the chef. I just said that we wanted some stuff, and she just worked up, um, those special items. I was just about to ask you guys any questions. I mean, as you see, it was really beautiful experience through the time and learning, but at the same time, a lot of activity that would bring the information out and quite experiential. So that you'll get the points all concrete. I'm going to give you some of that today as we look at the pantry and the labeling and stuff. Um, but yeah, it was exciting and beautiful. Yeah.
Well, how can we get some of those I mean, how can I get some of those recipes?
I don't know. I'll see. When she comes back, sort of talk about a few of them.
Oh, look
And
at my cousins.
your cousin had a ball.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Um, so is he? Let's see. Oh, that's a snake up there in the tree. Um, Then let me see what I'm looking for. We went to the market. Yeah, this is Brazil nuts. So we had lots, but it's high in saturated fat. So just only one day I brought it out and we sort of cracked it with a hammer, and there you see the whole nut um out of the shell. Yeah, that's the whole nut there. Um, So yeah, while they were sunbathing, we did some of the lectures so that we don't be indoors and then you're watching all the sun and then your time is shortened to be out there. So straight after breakfast, they did this digestive walk and then came back and we did some of the lectures during that time. Um, the coconut. This we had for our closing ceremony. We made it extra special for many reasons. People were celebrating, had things to celebrate about, birthdays, and even just their health, and also just celebrating being alive, celebrating life. So one of our missionaries was here with us, and I simply asked her for some tablecloths, and it turned out to be awesome because she has this stuff um that in her possession that she would do decorating part-time. So it turned out really good. But you were seeing some recipes like this. Yeah, so this we stuck candles on it for everyone. And the base was made from oat flour. Yeah, pretty much oat flour. And the cream was made from breadfruit. Yeah, we did some breadfruit wraps. But we had a breadfruit but that was more on the right side and so it was a bit mushy. And so they cut it up and they froze it. And when they needed, they actually brought it out and blend it with cashew nuts and added a sweetener, agave. Yeah, and it came out quite creamy, smooth, had good texture to hold, and then just topped it with some cranberries right there. This is sushi wrap. The seaweed, yeah, the seaweed sheets. So we got the sushi rice, sort of patted it on, and then um had some lengthened pieces of tofu, which you would simply bake in the oven on either side. We have tofu in there. And I see along with some red bell peppers and something green, maybe string beans. So because one of the things I shared with the chef, I said we can have dessert, and it doesn't need to be sweet items, especially if individuals have an issue with sugar for the diabetes. So this came up, um, and because this was sort of mild sweet, with the the oats. It sort of tasted like a pudding by the time it came in this slice, but this being smaller, it was more crispy, I heard. Um, ah, I think that was it. Oh, this is a breadfruit wrap. I don't know, did I ever give you guys that recipe? Because you can do it, it's with oats and breadfruit, or you can do it with oats and sweet potato. Um, if not, I have the recipe for that, and I can show it the next time, organize kebabs, with fruit. So they had this at the start. Yeah, and this was some cream. Okay, so, let's bump off. All right. So question, can one fast on nuts and water? Um, nuts, nuts. So if you're fasting, you could, because sometimes if I've done fast where you just lessen the food, cooked food, you have more raw fruit, so you can have fruit and some nuts that would hold you out. Um, but in that case, it's really what you're fasting from cooked food, and that would be part of your raw food item. So, of course, walk while you're doing that fast so that you wouldn't have you wouldn't have too much fat increase in your blood. Okay, that video, I'll post it up somewhere and you guys would see it has a lovely dramatic music. Sorry you weren't hearing. I don't know why. Okay, so our small steps, we're trotting along, and today we are the 23rd of the month. This is the one for tomorrow that would be posted in the WhatsApp chat. And this week we're looking at sleep and the importance and value and benefit of sleep. So taking a short rest or quiet break during the day. So many times we tend to be going, but if we change up our activity, like Sister Kit who mentioned she was working, but she stepped outside to get some fresh air, a little bit of sunlight, walk around a bit, and then went back in. If we did that, having those breaks, it gives us such great value in that we lower stress in our body, and it helps us to cope with the challenges that we are facing. So just stepping away from all of that hustle and bustle, sometimes it might just mean sitting out and closing your eyes for about 5 minutes and just relaxing and telling yourself to relax, literally just feeling from your head, your face, relax your face, relax your eyebrows and your shoulders, and just let go, let loose. And it feels quite rejuvenating. So it prevents burnout and exhaustion, mental exhaustion. Uh, so that's what we want to look at. And then tomorrow, we're going to go on to the your sleeping space and how do we prepare ourselves for sleep in a dark, quiet environment that supports natural release of melatonin, because in a dark state, dark environment, you have more melatonin production. If you switch that light on when you're going to the washroom at night, it's going to break melatonin. and cause you to be awake or give you difficulty to go back to sleep. So I tell folks if they needed light, put like a night light in the bathroom so that when you go there, it's not bright and and you can go back to sleep quicker. So when it's dark, it's quiet and it's cool, you tend to get a deeper sleep with uninterrupted rest most times. And you want a place really quiet. You know, sometimes dogs barking can wake you. I guess these nights I'm pretty tired because I don't hear the airplanes when they pass anymore, like 1 and 3 o'clock. So, um, yep, so that's good. One of the things that we did here, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, was when our guest came, I sort of anticipated people come, they're tired, you know, they from their busy lives. And most times they, even in the assessment, they reported insomnia, difficulty sleeping. So just across the board, we gave little containers with some castor oil and drops of frankincense and lavender oil in it and presented it to them as a token to go back to their rooms with. And at night, they just like rub the hairline of them, the head all around. And then they go to sleep. You don't have to do it right before you go to sleep. You can do it at 7 p.m. Just rub, you know, rub your temples, just relax. And no one ever complained about needing help for sleep. So that lavender helped, but more so being out in that sunlight, sunbathing, they were knocking out like 8:30 and sleeping all through the night. So it's really a blessing that we don't need to give all of these sleeping aids and other kinds of things, but simply getting adequate sun to balance our circadian rhythm, and then we get restful sleep.
It's the same thing as like when you're doing housework.
Mm-hmm.
It is make your body feel tired so that in the nighttime you'll be able to fall asleep.
Okay. Yes, that's true. So once you're busy and you're active, yeah, you drop off at night. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So we looked at this plate and what
Dr.
we,
Nash, sorry, may I
yeah.
interrupt?
Mhm.
Yes, I want to tell you about the 31 day challenge.
Okay.
I gave it at my church to my the health ministry leader, which I'm a
Uh-huh.
part of, but I gave it to her and she asked the church if they would like to do it. And
Mhm.
we start do it 6 days ago. So they were all interested in doing it. So I want to say thank you very much. Thank God for you for the things you have taught us.
Amen. Yeah, it was his inspiration. One morning I got up and I just thought of doing it for a handout to share in our health fairs. And at the end, I will share the whole, it's just a one sheet paper. I'll put that in the chat for you guys. Um, so I did that and I printed it for the health fairs that we will go to. But also I said, oh, why not break it up, you know, for them each day? So wonderful. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah. And it's good. The entire church participating and doing it. Which country are you in?
I'm from Canada, Ottawa.
Okay. All right, wonderful. So that's what we want to get the members thinking about health every single day. That and they're conscious and aware that they're doing something healthy. So it's not just like I think I need a detox and I want to do something healthy and I go on a special diet, but then at the end of it I come back and I come off. We want it to be a part of the lifestyle. So in your promotions, emphasize that and it can really help to change the culture. That's what we want, to change the culture and mindset of health within our churches and in our community. So it's going to be a part of life. You can have a talk with me because there are several other initiatives that we're doing here on the ground in Trinidad, all geared towards that. So this Sunday coming, we have cooking school for our health leaders, and we're teaching them how to conduct cooking schools in their churches and communities. So we give them recipes, and they're going to go out and do it. And every quarter they'll come back and we do the same, demonstrate, and they go out and they do it. So they'll have at least 3 sessions for between now and the end of the year for health promoting and those connects. The theme we're working on is bread and breakfast. Okay, so bread and breakfast, those are the recipes that we're going with for the first, well, it would come out now in the second quarter. But that's some of the things we're doing. Wonderful. Hey, so let's see. So last week we talked about supermarket and what do we get when we go shopping? And we talk about, looking for produce, what's in season, and trying to bulk buy so you get cheaper deals, or even things that's more fresh. So I want to spend a little bit time talking about food labels because many times it seems so complicated. This is something that we did with our guest here at the center, and they've loved it. They actually said, like 2 days before, they never could have understood food labels, but after a theory and practical session, it was just like knowing your hand, the back of your hand, so easy. And I hope that it would come across to you easily too. So, and it's this one is a really simple one. So we are looking at this food label, and the first thing it talks about is serving size right at the top. And it tells us here we have in this item 6 servings in the container, whatever it might be. So, and a serving size is 1 cup. So whether it be, some whatever measurement, a liquid or a solid matter, but 1 cup is a serving size, and there are 6 servings in this particular container. So if individuals wanted, and they took 2 cups, that would be 2 servings of be it peas or beans or vegetables or drink or whatever it might be. And but usually it is this small portion, and at times too because of the concentration of nutrients or fats or sugars within the container, that the serving size may very well just be 1 cup. Sometimes there might be items serving size could be small, but people eat the entire packet. And so you're just like putting all of these things multiple times into your body. So the content that follows is pretty much per serving. The calories per serving is 245. So calories will reflect, what's within this container, and that's like the energy that will be put out to you, the individual, if it is that you consumed 1 cup. Many times we burn more calories than what we take in. Sometimes when you're under hustle, that happens, and you have to remind yourself to eat up more so that you can actually have more calorie intake. Now, know this. Know this. This item possibly looks like a meat or a flesh food item. And know that in flesh foods and their byproducts, they tend to have higher amounts of calories as opposed to plant foods. And like your peas and your beans, your rice, your maybe pasta and that sort of thing, they have lower values. If you were to put vegetables and put a label on it, lower values of calories as compared to the processed foods, because you have additives in it. Processed foods and flesh foods have higher values of calories. Don't go calorie counting. It could be quite a challenge for us. We want to eat our food in a more relaxed state. Now, next we come down to saturated fat. And here it tells us, number one, total fat being 12 grams. And look at the value. It's like 14% in their serving. So 14%. See, the percentage, the daily value tells you how much a nutrient in a serving of food contributes to a daily diet of an estimated 2,000 calories in a day. So it's like 14% of the of fat content that you should get within a day, this one serving has. Okay. And that's based on you having an intake of a 2,000 calories. On a whole food plant-based diet, you're not going to reach to a 2,000 calorie count of food intake in a day. It's difficult to get to achieve that. And that's why, it looks very much to me like an animal food product here. Next, the saturated fat, again, having 2 grams. So 2 grams of saturated fat. Saturated fat you find mainly in animal foods. Saturated fat you can get in coconut, in cashew nuts, in Brazil nuts. You can have saturated fat in those items. You have a small amount in olives and like olive oil and so on. But there's a small amount of saturated fat showing up in here, trans fat being 0. So just one thing. When it comes to saturated fat, the lower the better, because this is what it would take to increase cholesterol levels quickly, as well as the calcium plaque deposits in your arteries to narrow your arteries, saturated fat. Now, trans fat, in the FDA had, they put on some statements a couple of years ago asking the manufacturers not to include trans fat in their production of food items. And it's because it's where, say, like you have, it's a sort of man-made ingredient to sort of keep the food stable. So you see, it's a type of fat that they may put in pastries and donuts, in your raisin rolls and so on. And it's where even popcorn, microwave popcorn, would have had it, and it was associated with the increase of certain health challenges, including diabetes. And so they got the warning, let's remove the trans fat. Obviously, in this label, it says it's 0. However, if the product contains up to 0.5 grams per serving of trans fat, they don't have to declare it. So it's not to say when you see 0 that it altogether may not be there. It may be there, but in very small amounts. And that can be an added fat in the serving that's put out. Now, cholesterol. Again, that's why I think this label is so connected to some animal product, because it tells us that cholesterol is like 8 milligrams or 3% for our intake that we could handle. But 8 milligrams of cholesterol, small amount, but cholesterol is found only in animal foods. Plant-based foods carry no cholesterol. Okay, plant-based foods carry no cholesterol. So once you see cholesterol in the label, because sometimes you're not sure what is in the product. And by looking at the label, you are going to look for all of these fat content. And imagine it already has 12 grams of fat, and now cholesterol at 8 milligrams. You add that up, that can make your blood fatty and cause problems. So right away, we know, whether you'd want to consume this item or not. Another interesting point is the sodium, and sodium here being at 210 milligrams and per serving. So we want to look out for that, and that's like about 9% in value, the daily value of our intake in sodium. So if you had a serving in this 9%, how many servings are you having? Could this be multiplied by 2 servings and you have 18% already of your sodium intake? That means you've got to watch the other foods that you're having in your day and see whether sodium is added to it. And so we want to have foods that has lower sodium value. Many times, stored foods, we have like frozen food. And frozen food could even be vegetarian food, but they usually have high amounts of sodium. I look at those labels of the frozen food and see the amount of sodium that is in there. Even some of the processed tofu in cans and packages, look at that sodium that is in there. And there are times when individuals are consuming those items and they have high blood pressure. And they're consuming those frozen packages of things regularly. So right away, you know that they have problems because every day there's high values of sodium intake. So we want to keep it lower. So next we want to look at the carbohydrate here. So total carbohydrate is 34 grams or 12% of total carbs. And we want to look at the fiber. So fiber, it appears here as dietary fiber being 7 grams. And if it is that we are if it has some bit of plant items within this product, there you would see fiber showing up. If it was wholly and solely animal based, there is no fiber in the animal foods, no fiber in the flesh. So it seems here that this product has some bit of plant material in it. Another concern will be the sugar. So you have total sugar. So total sugar is where the food itself has some sweet to it. Like if it was a pawpaw, the pawpaw is sweet. If it was a mango, the mango is already sweet. So that's total sugar. But when you see added sugar, it's when you add sugar into the product. So it says added sugar 4 grams or 8%. So it's adding in there. We got to watch that. Just like how we're watching the sodium, we're watching the fat. You also look for the sugar content. You have, for example, certain like strawberry, blueberries. And depending on if they're not fresh in a container, but it might be in a sauce, in a bag, and it might have added sugars in there. You will want to know that, particularly because of your health challenges and that you may have. And you may want to be staying away from sugar. Just apart from the total sugar, you see added sugar, and that you might want to reduce, even have less than a serving, if it is that you consume and you're concerned about having less sugars intake. So the added sugar is where they literally add some kind of sweetener to it. Sugar, cane sugar. It could be all kinds of added whatever sugar it might be. So I try, I'm thinking all the healthy forms of sugar, but it might be someone, white sugar that you don't want. Those highly processed sugars that you don't want. Corn, high fructose corn syrup, it might be there. So there may be the ingredients list would tell you what type of sugars it is. So the other one here is protein, and it says 11 grams. So 11 grams is quite a tidy sum per serving. And of course, we're looking if it's a animal-based item. Well, you can understand from getting protein, high value here. And then vitamin D. So it's fortified apparently with vitamin D. Now, vitamin D, if it's an animal product, they can have vitamin D in it because they make it themselves. They have a liver, right? And they make it for themselves. So by you consuming it, you can get some form of vitamin D in there. When it comes to sickness and disease and restoring their health, we usually would recommend taking vitamin D from a supplemental. Either you make it or you take it from a supplement as opposed to the food because this is quite small. All right, it's a small amount to look for increase in your vitamin D. Calcium, 210 milligrams or 16% in the daily value of intake for calcium. So our calcium, it's there. Okay, iron. All right, so we could all do with some iron and some potassium. So usually animal foods, uh, they can have potassium in it. They certainly can have iron. They can have these items in it, but they don't carry fiber. So there seems to be some mix. Not sure what it is here. But so this is simply what it looks like for a food label. And you want to turn your cans, turn your packages, and have a look at what you're getting in here. And one of the things that we will be concerned about mainly is looking at the fat. Let's look at the sodium and let's look for the sugar. Okay. And whether it contains cholesterol, yes or no. That saturated fat is one that we want to certainly have reduce and less of. So by the time you understand these and you go to the supermarket and you pull an item and you start looking at the label, you're like shaking your head and wondering, well, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want the other. Well, this doesn't look like it's a healthy item for me. And if you have cans in your home right now, you can take them and hold it up and look at it, look at the labels carefully and see what's in that content. And then here's a challenge. Go to your supermarket and see if you can get something better. Okay, of all the brands, there might be a brand that is better. So we want to remove those unhealthy items from our pantry and instead stock them with nice, healthy items. Most times that may be fresh or dried, good quality food, and that we want to stock up on instead of these highly processed foods. So highly processed foods or ultra processed foods is connected to diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and so it's one that can pose a challenge. Metabolic syndrome, highly processed foods. So we don't want to have those kinds of things in. Okay, someone is sharing that she stays away from vegetarian packaged food. Okay, so Kit also said that you share the challenge in your group. Wonderful, thank you. Great. So yeah, so let's see what we can have. So we actually went on a grocery tour. So I have a little bit of footage here for you. And let's see. Tammy, are you hearing? Hey, so here today we're going to go on a grocery tour and see what kind of foods we find. Okay, great. So yeah, so we went on a grocery tour to see what kind of food after the folks learned one day, the next day. And look in their hand. I gave them a challenge. They had a couple questions and that they had to look through And for example, find a canned food that did not have sodium added sugars and fat content in it, or low sodium sugars and fat. They needed to look for that, and they didn't have much success. So they went on that hunt, and they had these questions, and they had to fill in the blanks. So just showing you some of the items here as we kind of surveyed some of them. So that was a healthy bread, the Easy Cal. But of course, they looked at the label and to see what it had in there. Okay, there have Sister Camille and the grocery aisle. Okay, pretty much like what you have. All right, so look at this. Total fat, 0, because this is a baked bean can. No cholesterol. Sodium, 360 milligrams of sodium. And what they were doing, look at comparing another brand, same baked bean, but this one, there was a guy who was packing on the shelves, and he actually told us, try this one. It says low salt and low sugar. And when we compared it to another brand, it actually said 550 milligrams. So if you are concerned about the amount of sodium that you consume, and the serving size is half cup, which is consistent with if you were to cook beans, half cup is a serving. So if you were concerned about lowering your sodium intake, and then you would go for this one, because this one is higher. And the carbohydrate altogether, the fiber, 6 grams, sugars, 5 grams versus 9 grams. So holding true to the label here, less salt, less sugar. And protein, 6, no vitamin D in here. And calcium content being 30, iron 1.8 compared to 3, and potassium a little bit higher. So I'm not sure. And here you have the ingredients that's put into the item here. Contains wheat and celery. Contains wheat. So that's how you look. And it's like so easy. So by the time that folks looked through, they were not finding one that had lower than this. And they just like picked up can after can after can. Even when it came to canned fruits in a can, one person said that she was able to see Dole having its own juice in it, as opposed to a sugary liquid in there. Okay, so someone is asking if there's a difference between sodium and salt. So salt may be composed of additional minerals. So if your salt, like the Pink Himalayan sea salt and all natural one that's really genuine, will have like about 84 trace minerals in it. That's salt. But sodium will be one of the components within the salt. So even your normal table salt will have sodium. It can have potassium. It may have iodine, but the sodium in it could be higher, and sodium is standing out by itself here. Okay. And all right, so here we have folks. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Guys, so
Wait, but you got nothing in your basket. What were you doing all the time?
because there's nothing based on my nutritional what I'm looking for, there's nothing here that I want. But you have some good stuff. So I saw some. So in terms of the positives, I saw nutritional yeast flakes.
Where?
I saw Himalayan salt. What else did I see that was of substantial value? And then you had a few options in terms of on the frozen section for like the pre-cooked black beans, which was very high in fiber. So yeah, that's my take from experience.
Okay. Having fun?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Okay.
Food side, no sugars, good in fiber, no fat, no saturated or trans fat,
Okay.
and polysaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, zero, cholesterol, zero. So these are good ones.
Oh, and those sugars too. So what's the name of this one? It's shredded wheat. Oh, so there you got a good option.
That's the only good option in this entire stuff that ends all the way down there. Yeah. I have about 5 different brands here.
Yeah.
General Mills, Post, Universal, Sunshine, Nestle. And this is the only good one out of thousands of options in this aisle.
Mhm. Quite amazing. You know, when you really stop to count these things and take stock of what's within the items, that you could shy away from grabbing it up. And this is so important, especially as we consider our health. And if we want to be healthy, what are we putting in that contributes in a real way to our conditions that we may have? And because we're consuming these things regularly, you know, if something has the potential to hurt you, and the more opportunities it get to hurt you, it is indeed hurting you in the end. So that you know, it's a real thought here. All right, so this one is a bit funny. What are you telling her?
It's not a dissertation.
Thank you. But they were just there trying to figure out, you know, for the questions, and we sort of timed them though, say 1 hour and then we're out. One more.
This is another excellent option, you know, especially this particular brand, General Mills. It's a if you were to go to the nutritional fact section, you could see just 1 gram of fat, but in terms of the trans fat, which is a makeup thing, sodium is zero, cholesterol is zero, fiber is 5 grams, and no added sugars based off that. And still get 6 grams of protein there.
Yeah, and you need to add some liquid to make it more nutritious, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
nice homemade nut milk.
And then we got some steel cut toast.
Yeah, now to be honest, I don't know much about those.
So it's whole oats.
Okay.
Just chopped up.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
This the other one is rolled.
it's rolled, right? Okay, gotcha. So this one is similarly just as great. No sodium, no cholesterol, and no fats at all. Really good product, no sugars, even better. Right, and some fiber in there.
Yeah, and so it's great because you might even, if you add stuff to it, like sugar, then you can make it unhealthy.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
That's a good point. So you can have all these healthy items, but how we prepare them and what we add, that what we're consuming could make it unhealthy. So for example, in the produce section, you have all the nice vegetables, but if we dose it with oil, you increase the fat content depending on the type of oil. We have saturated fat, then that can cause our blood to be thick and cause arterial blockage, and the whole cascade of goes on. So our choices do matter, and how we prepare the food matters. Okay, so just overview here, we take it up the produce aisle. But at the same time, you can, it's all packaged up, and then we go to the market scene where it's all different, and here it is fresh. So let's take a look in the market. It's quite a different scene from the supermarket. But look at variety, look at colors. and look at people who are interested in getting food, you know. Okay, so that's that. And let's hear their feedback now as they compare both experiences.
Good. All right, so since a minute, we are here at the Macquarie Market. Can you just tell the people how was your experience?
Quite an experience. I enjoyed it. And everybody is so nice and kind, and it wasn't like a push, and it wasn't crowded, and so it's really, really fresh and great. And processed stuff like honey and the spices are very authentic, and it seems like everything is still very healthy.
Okay, so compared to the labels at the supermarket and the labels in the market, what do you think about the labels here?
There were no tells me that there's definitely healthy.
All right, all right, all right. You little ones there. Enjoy yourself there. It's all right.
Sure.
Talk to me, man. How was your experience? What is that one unique thing that you experienced there? Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Can you show the people your stuff? Yellow watermelon. Are you sure? Oh my goodness. Authentic. Lovely, lovely. Nice, sir. Nice, sir. That's right, that's right. And no GMO, right? That's right, that's right. All right, man. Take care.
Okay, and then one more.
Talk to me, talk to me. How was the experience here at the Macquarie Market?
It was great, but I can compare to back in the market. For the Spain, which was and there's more back there, yes, and you get better deals. But this is a smaller market, but that's the same way. It was a wonderful experience.
All right, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming out today and for having that experience with us. God bless you guys. Hoping to see you down here soon. God bless.
Okay. All right. So there you go. I hope that shared a little bit as to the experience. And as you step into your supermarket, the next time you do, pause a little while and take a look and read those ingredients. Especially, I say to you, go to your pantry now and see what you have that you really, on a second thought, would choose different the next time you go out. And so what do we keep? We want all these nice, healthy grains. And we have whole grains, and we want to have, the oats and the buckwheat, the quinoa, pearl barley. Have a variety so that you can make up your plate as you prepare. Thank God we have variety of peas and beans, and the whole list more. So whatever you have around you, one of the things I'll advise is to invest in a slow cooker, because many times people shy away from these beans because you got to soak them long and they may not have the time. If you have a slow cooker, you can cook it at night. Put it on at night, like about 9 p.m., put enough water. You put your beans, and then you want levels of water to be like 3 times higher on the top. That should be ample enough to cook the bean. And you put a value on high, you run it through the night. In the morning, you will be able to get your bean all ready to season up. You season it up and you're ready to go. You have beans for breakfast and for lunch. And we did mention some time ago, beans would be great for breakfast as it helps us to manage our glucose levels. A variety of fruits and vegetables is what we're looking for over the course of a week. Look at all of these different items here. So whatever is in season, whatever you get when you go, and then that sort of will be what you will have and eat. But don't go back for the same thing every week. If you're seeing items that try something new, do something different. Unless you have certain dietary restrictions that you will choose, and be just a few items that you're having. But at the same time, it's Yeah, at the same time, you have variety. Our spices and our seasonings. Okay, so we have our garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, turmeric, rosemary, basil, paprika, and dried oregano. These are options that you can have. Usually for me, I'm an onion and garlic person in our home. Onion, garlic, the pink Himalayan sea salt. We have turmeric there. We may drop in sometimes. The other stuff are around depending on what you're doing, the flavor you want to render, and you put that in. Our fats, so you have almonds, flaxseed, chia seed, walnuts, pecans, olive and olive oil. I put the olive oil in here because there are times when the reality is people cannot afford nuts and seeds. And I meet that when I go out into the community health fairs. They're not working. I said, do you have some oil? Yeah, what kind? They may have coconut oil or olive oil. So you do need the fats, just a little bit, a quarter teaspoon or half, depending on what their needs are or what their health challenge is. So that's what we have, but at least the preferred one would be the olive oil. And then the nut butters is another item. So you can either have a closed handful of your nuts or seeds, and then you can have your nut butter spread on some toasted bread or a wrap, and you're good to go. Here's a grocery list. If you need a grocery list, please let me know in the chat. I think I put it out last week. I could always drop it in there again in the WhatsApp chat, and so on. So question, should you soak the beans before cooking, and what to soak them with? And sometimes when I don't soak them, they take longer than overnight. All right. So if you're doing it in a slow cooker, make sure your setting is on high. Okay, so if your setting is on high, it cooks, because I've seen where individuals with their slow cooker put the setting on medium or low, and no, it's going to take too long. That's when you keep it on low for warming the food, okay? And all right, thanks. I'll drop the grocery list. So if it's on high, it usually cooks well. But if it is that you have to soak it, yeah, put enough water to soak the bean. Make sure you rinse it by morning. If you need to soak again, yeah, some of the beans, the older the bean is, the harder it is. But if you have a good slow cooker, you can get that. I set it on high and it still takes long. Yeah, wow. The type of bean you have. Yeah, if you're soaking, you don't have to put anything. Here's what you can also do. You can boil it for about a few minutes. Just let the water come to a boiling point, and then you leave it to soak. So in that way, it speeds up the process. Yeah, so if you boil it and then you switch off and you leave it to soak, it can help. Okay. And so I did ask in the WhatsApp chat this question over the weekend, and it says, which of these agents has the potential to reduce total cholesterol? And individuals voted, and many said garlic. Some said black cumin, cinnamon, amla, fenugreek. So those were the options. And question. What about the phytic acid that we get from the beans? It's okay, because you wouldn't eat that whole abundance of bean in one go. We do need phytic acid. We could manage at least 400 milligrams in a day. And so your serving size of beans is half a cup. That would be okay. Phytic acid does have some potential for helping the body to suppress tumors, to prevent the spread of tumors. It's an antioxidant. So we could work with that. You could work with your closed handful of nuts and seeds that will have the skin on them, and you get phytic acid there too. However, and that's why when you cook it long, you reduce the phytic acid load, as opposed to cooking it fast on a fast cooker. So if you cook it long, it's reduced, and that helps us. Doesn't matter what type, and some people, depending, if they experience in bloating, after they've been is soaked, they would need to throw that water off and then bring it in for cooking with some fresh water. All right, get the water warm before you add it in, so it just blends in with the continued process of cooking. Now, question, does it matter what type of diabetes you have, whether high or low, for your diet, or you can eat the same for both? Diabetes, yeah, you can eat the same for both. If you have hypoglycemia, you certainly need food and to increase your glucose levels. If you have hyperglycemia, then the peas, the fiber in it, will cause your glucose levels to rise, but gradually, not giving you the sugar spikes. All right, so even if it's high, eating your beans will, because of the fiber, the glucose wouldn't rise too high for you. I haven't seen peanut butter on your list. Yeah, that's because my list goes to so many people, and there may be individuals with peanut allergies. At the center, we do not cook with, we do not have peanuts on the compound. We don't buy it. We don't prepare any food with it, even in the cooking schools. So I don't even, all my material would not have peanuts in it. That would be a personal preference because peanut allergy is quite common. There's another item that we'll be cautious about, especially in recipes and for cooking in the cooking schools, is pineapple, because individuals can have allergic response to pineapple. So it's always a question if you're serving up, especially even in churches, if you're going to do potluck, to stay away from the peanut and try not to do pineapple because somebody may have an allergic reaction and you will be panicking. All right. So based on here, the garlic is good, and garlic, I've always talked about garlic being top for lowering cholesterol. However, black cumin is good, fenugreek is good, amla, that's a fruit, amla is good, and cinnamon is also great. These 5 items showed robust sustainability to lower cholesterol levels. Okay, these 5 items, as opposed to others. Like imagine turmeric was way down the list. Turmeric didn't even have a good response for lowering cholesterol. Yeah, so there was like robust and high items, then medium, and then low. So turmeric was on the low one. And when it came to combining these two, you found that combining garlic and fenugreek, they were complementary to work even better than using garlic along with the others. So garlic, you can do the cumin, you can do the amla, you can do the cinnamon, but just because of the compounds in these two, so like garlic will help to lower cholesterol in your bloodstream. And when you come in with fenugreek, this is so important. Fenugreek now will help to create more, utilize some of that cholesterol to make bile and sweep that fat out of your body, out of your blood. You know, one of the things that I see here with individuals when they come to the center, if they lose weight too quickly, they end up shooting up their cholesterol. Yeah, and because the high fat is just turned out into the bloodstream, and we need something to mop it up and to reduce and work that down. So making sure they have good liver support, and the fenugreek will promote good liver support and the bile production and so on. Works excellent in lowering the total cholesterol that remains in the bloodstream. So that's really good. So if you have someone where they already have fat in their body, they have high cholesterol, just simply adding fenugreek. But there was a good amount of, in the experiment was a good amount of garlic and fenugreek, and they ran this study for months, like up to a year, in some instances 2 years, just watching repeatedly over a number of different people. So in garlic, we have more than allicin. We have aldurn and the different disulfide and so forth, the organosulfur, that it's they have the good items that really works. Yeah, so that's good. Now, again, I've shared this with you before, the garlic lemon extract. Do this, this works. Don't add anything to it. If you add ginger, I know some time ago I did a presentation and I showed a lemon ginger combination, and that was specific. We were talking about breast cancer, and that was the study that worked there. But when it comes to the cholesterol, the garlic and lemon have good synergy to lower the cholesterol levels. What I'm seeing is that this original recipe, works to lower the cholesterol quickly and quicker than if we added ginger to it. So in this round, I added ginger to it, and it didn't work great and fast for the people as I expected. So that's something to note. Let's stick with the ginger. Let's stick with the lemon and garlic in this original recipe. All right, so scripture of the week. Psalm 91:2, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Oh, we need to trust in the Lord as we go through our health issues. Let's keep trusting in the Lord. Let Him be our refuge, our fortress to fight our battles for us. Whatever may come our way, hold on to Him, and He is going to see us through. Okay. So with that, it brings us to the end. This week is the last Thursday of the month, and on Thursday evening, we have our Cancer Survivor program, Cancer Survivor group. And we are looking forward to meeting. If you are in that group, we will meet with you then.
Doc,
And
there's a couple questions in the box.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm looking. So how do I use fenugreek? Boil 1 teaspoon with 4 cups of water, and it's bitter. Yes, it will be bitter because it can also help to reduce blood sugar. So that's something you need to watch at the same time. 1 tablespoon is pretty good. In the experiment, they did like from 5 to 50 grams of fenugreek. 5 to 50 grams of fenugreek. And
I think I got the 1 tablespoon from something you shared before, so I made it for someone. I tasted it. I was like, oh, it's bitter. But I think it was when you gave the herbs and various things several
yeah,
weeks ago.
yep. And that's fine because I tried to imagine um what that 50 grams of fenugreek looked like. And for what I searched up, I was like, wow, that's like a huge amount of fenugreek that I can't really see us. And you got to be careful, okay? So if we added too much, it can drop our blood sugar too low. It's also great and rich in iron. So fenugreek is good, but it can make the lady's breast sort of plump up too. So you find Indian ladies tend to like it for some reason, to be busty, or it just comes about as a bonus. Yeah, this is a fenugreek here. You see, 5 to 50 grams of the raw seed powder. So I try to look up what would be 5 grams of fenugreek, and this is per day. And I was saying a tablespoon, and you multiply that by 10, that would be quite a lot. And similarly for the garlic, it was 100 to 2,000 milligrams of garlic. But if you have a garlic capsule, so for example, I have here the Galanese, and the Galanese is 320 milligrams per serving. And so this here, 320. So maybe, and per serving is like one tablet per serving. So literally with garlic, the Galanese, one tablet is equivalent to 4 cloves of garlic. And so if individuals were to use a garlic capsule or garlic tablet, and you wanted to hit this number, that's going to be quite a lot. And it depends on the effectiveness per person. So that's anywhere going like from 1 to about 6 of those tablets. Usually we'll tell people take two times a day, so that's about 4. So it falls within the threshold here of effectiveness. Yeah. So that's what it showed here. Okay. So the 1 tablespoon is fine. If you're running high blood sugars and you wanted to increase that to 2 tablespoons, then do. But watch through your glucose reading, your glucose testing, and you would see. Okay, so another question: when one soaks tofu to make milk, one should make sure that all the first skin is removed. I don't know. When it comes to tofu is in a packet, and if I were to use that to make something milky to add to an ingredient, we just blend with water and flavor it. If you wanted to do it for milk, you simply do the same. You blend, have enough water, and bring it to the taste that you would acquire. A little pinch of salt and some sweetener should do the trick. The first skin layer included, yeah, use a whole tofu, use all of it. I'm not sure why your brand is making a skin-like surface, but all of it is okay. Fenugreek, is it a tea that we are to make? Yes, because it's seed, or if it's ground to powder, you're making a tea to get a benefit to lower your cholesterol levels. Or if you got it in a capsule form, then that can be an option as well. And you take it as recommended on the bottle in capsule form. Good. All right, so thank you everyone for your participation today. And we look forward to meeting with you